All right, good morning, boys and girls. Another beautiful morning, Sunday morning here on Sam Rayburn. We fished the BFL. By the way, I've got Chris. Say your last name, Chris.
Shotan.
Yeah, Shotan.
That's right.
Is that like Shogun? No, Shotan.
Shotan.
Where are you
French.
from?
Lafayette.
Lafayette, Louisiana. So I'll be practicing my Cajun today.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, I bet you brought some good stuff to eat, didn't you?
No, we didn't get around to that after yesterday.
What?
I was wore out after yesterday. I just couldn't bring myself to fixing anything.
By the way, for those of y'all from the north, I'll put captions at the bottom so you can understand what Chris is saying.
Sorry about that.
Get some translation going. So we're about to take off. This is the rescheduled BFL from a couple of weeks ago when we got fogged in. Lake level is, what did I just tell you?
168.
160. It's just at 2 feet high. Oh, hold on a second. We're doing a prayer. All right, sorry about that. So we just had the prayer and national anthem. We're boat 109, so we'll be here for a few minutes. So the lake level's 166.26. Normal pool's 164.4. So it's almost 2 feet high. It's come up, I guess, probably 3.5, 4 feet in the last week or two. The lake's in really nice shape. Water temperature is most of it's 60. It's 60 here to probably 65, 66 degrees in the backs of the pockets, but even the main lake's warmed up. Fish have certainly started moving up, but obviously some guys caught them yesterday. This is that odd time when some fish are less interested in feeding than they are in reproducing. At least that's kind of what I take. That's my excuse for not catching them. But the fishing's actually pretty good. It'll get a lot better here in the next couple of weeks. And part of the problem, in my opinion, right now is these fish are super, super shallow, especially in the dirtier water. They're up on the bank, and in some places, the outside edge of the brush is 50 yards from the bank. So it's really hard to push your way in there and catch those fish or get to those fish. As they spawn and back out, or as more fish come up, that'll get easier to catch them. But anyway, so the lake's in great shape. The lake overall is pretty clear. Most of it's not what I would call sight fishing clear, and certainly from about, I only went up the Angelina Arm yesterday, from about the deer stand up, it's got significant color, and then the closer to the 103 bridge I got, the more color I got. Just as a report on my fishing yesterday, I just didn't have any interest in going out and catching another 10-pound stringer, so I decided to go up the lake to somewhere I hadn't fished. I just went and fished some history, and I pulled in an area and I turned a big fish. I'm gonna say it was a 6 to 8 pounder on a spinnerbait yesterday morning in the dirty water, and I pulled her out of a bush, and she swam into another bush, and I got her out of that bush and got her out in open water, and she popped free. I don't know what happened. Then I caught a little keeper on a spinnerbait, hooked outside the face, and then I kind of convinced myself, based on those 2 bites, that those fish were really up on the bank, and so I started just nosing the boat into the brush and flipping super shallow, and I flipped up literally in 8 or 10 inches of water and saw one about 4 or 5 pounds roll over and get my bait, but she was so shallow, and I've had this happen before, that stuck her on that 65-pound cigar braid, and when I stuck her, I pulled her out of the water and she come off. And we fished hard up there from 7:30 till 11, and at 11 o'clock I realized I was getting about 1 bite an hour, and I was 3 hours into the day and about 3 hours left in the day, and I just bagged it because I didn't want to be completely embarrassed and zero. I ran back down the lake into the clearer water and just went to flipping bushes, and there's some footage here I'll show you, me flipping a couple of 2-pounders in the boat. So I went flipping bushes and caught, I think, probably a dozen keepers. I lost 2 fish, but I saw them both. I had them pinned in the bushes and couldn't get to them. They wouldn't have helped me. And I weighed a whopping 10.6 again. So today we're going to go to a completely different area of the lake today. We're going to stay kind of mid-lake. And we'll call it sort of Caney Beach area, Fire Tower. And this time of year, these fish should be around the hay grass in that clearer water. And there's some safety to them in behind the hay grass. So we're going to kind of get on some little flat points, and we're going to flip over in behind that hay grass and see if we can get bit doing that. So you'll be watching Chris over there netting giant fish, hopefully, in the next couple of hours. Hopefully. Or I'll net some of his, but we're going to do that. I'm going to throw a frog a little bit more today because that should start happening pretty soon. And we're just going to go fishing. I mean, heck, we're not working, and you know, this is pretty enjoyable even when you're only catching 10.5 pounds. I hate wasting the money of entry fees, but as I've said always in the past, you can't win if you don't play. So we're here. We're going to go play. We're going to have some fun. Take the Ranger boat out for a ride. Matter of fact, several guys have asked about my boat as I've got it up for sale. There it is. It's a really pretty boat. It's loaded up, white and silver. It's a little dirty right now, but anybody's interested in my boat, I'm going to post a set of videos, hopefully if I remember this afternoon, of the boat, so you guys can see it as well. So,
Ken, why don't you do us a favor in this video, Phil?
Hey, you know, I get more video bombs, people driving by. So there you go, another video bomb. Huh? Yeah, so Phil, I don't think Phil's going to tell me a whole lot about what he's doing right now. Yeah, I'll follow Phil Marks around. Phil won again yesterday, another 27 pounds. So I'm sure that he's out deep. I heard he said he was sight fishing. I find that hard to believe, but you know, however he caught him, and he continues to catch him. So we're going to go try to catch him. We're going to stay shallow. I don't have any confidence out deep right now, so we're going to do that, and we'll see what happens. So stay tuned. We'll hopefully have some good fish catches today. Thanks, guys. Let me see that thing. You got another one of them spinners?
Looking at bag right there.
How do you rig it? How big a hook are you using?
I think it's 3 or 4 works.
And you just screw it in the end, huh?
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Zavala, Texas, world headquarters, KenSmithFishing.com. It is the, I don't know, the 3rd or 4th of March. It's the Sunday after the double BFL. I did pretty much what I told you I was going to do this morning. I've got a few fish on camera. Went out and basically caught about just under 14 pounds, cashed a check that covered my entry fees, all I did. Actually, so to kind of give you a recap, I spent, let me kind of think it through. Friday, I sort of fished all the same stuff. I've been fishing mid-lake. That would be Harvey, that would be Indian, that would be Hog, a little bit in Julie. Just kind of quite a bit behind the forest and then mud. And really didn't catch much that I was excited about. So as you saw, or as I talked about earlier, yesterday I made the run all the way up to, I think it's called Dorizo, D-O-R-I-Z-O, or whatever that creek with the power lines is, way up north. I lost a couple of good fish, and I was so far up there that at about 11 o'clock with one fish in the boat, I knew I had to get some bites, so I ran back down south, caught 5. Today, I went and just fished in Veach and Caney all day. I didn't burn 12 gallons of gas today. And I probably caught 12 or 15 keeper bass. Most of them, well, I caught several on that little, which I've never done this before, on that little Senko, where you'd basically take and you bite the end off the Senko and you put a little tiny spinner on the back of it. So show who you'll see here in just a second. Matter of fact, here's the fish show caught. on that little bait. So found out the other day that Chris's name is actually Show, and I guess this right here is wine. That's a pretty fish. Very nice. Very nice. On that little bait. So he caught that fish right off the bat this morning. It was a little bit over 6. I think it was a 6.8. It certainly looked bigger than that, but unless you see the length, there's no way to know how big a fish is unless you measure him. So he caught that fish. He finished pretty high, I think. I'm sure he was top 5. He had 14, I think almost 15 or 16 pounds. And he was catching them, throwing that Senko, a black blue Senko with that little spinner on the back. And what he does is he just throws it out there and he just creeps it real slow. He doesn't let it get to the bottom, or he lets it get to the bottom, but he doesn't worry too much about it coming up off the bottom. I kept wanting to pump it, and that's not how he did it. He was throwing it on 15-pound cigar fluorocarbon, and he would just creep it around. And he caught that big fish right off the bat this morning, and he caught as many fish as I did off the back deck today, throwing that little bait around. So I caught some on that. I caught a couple on a swim bait, with a spinner on it, big swim bait. I caught several in bushes. I lost a fish in a bush today that hurt me a little bit. It probably cost me $100 or so. And I lost 2 more fish in the bushes that I don't think hurt me. And then my partner Dickie ran across me, who wound up, by the way, congratulations Dickie. Dickie Newbear, he won this weekend. He ran across me and kind of clued me in a little bit. He was catching them kind of more main lakey, and so I got back out to the mouths of both those pockets, and I was able to catch a 4-pounder. Actually, I caught the 4-pounder on an A-rig. I caught 2 fish on an A-rig real late in the day, just kind of out over some scattered grass and some drains, same stuff we've been doing. And I think that's probably, I know he was more main lake than what I had been all day, and he was able to catch those fish, and congratulations to him. Overall, I would say most guys would say the fishing was pretty tough. I caught a lot of keepers, but I wasn't catching any big ones. But I mean, there were some really good fishermen here that didn't catch limits, that caught 7 and 10 pound limits. So overall, a surprisingly tough weekend on a full moon. They are certainly trying to spawn or getting really close. But I did get up super shallow today a couple times, just kind of poking around looking, and you can catch a ton of fish on a Senko. I was throwing just a standard watermelon with a purple flake Senko, one of my favorites, that and the green flake, or excuse me, the blue flake. And I probably caught a lot more keepers than what I'm telling you, because now that I think about it, I caught 6 or 7 keepers just with the power poles down on a little shallow point. So fun day, but fun doesn't get you paid down here. You got to catch big ones, and I didn't. But I tried my best, and I didn't waste really any time. When I was on the water, I fished hard, so I'm pleased with that. I told Phil Marks at the ramp today, I'm ready for a break from Rayburn. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to be off next weekend, and then the following weekend we're headed to Grand for the Costa. So I will give you guys some updates from some buddies down here that are still fishing, but I'm also going to give you all a Grand update. So you'll get a Grand update, my Oklahoma friends or Texas friends who want to go up there. We'll be heading up there for the Costa here in about 2 weeks. So I think that's it. If I think of something else, I'll edit this up later, but that was kind of the weekend. A lot of fish, only 1 fish over 4 pounds that I actually caught. Some lost fish, but you're going to catch some, you're not going to catch some. So hope you guys are safe. It's springtime, get out and go fishing. And please subscribe if you don't. Please share me on Facebook if you've not done that with your friends. And if you have questions or comments, please add them. Or, of course, my email address is kensmithfishing@outlook.com. As always, look forward to getting y'all's emails. And, by the way, the boat's still for sale. I'm going to post a video right behind this of the boat, or maybe in front of this, but just giving you kind of an overview of the Z520. It's a 2014 Ranger Z520. So I'll get that up here in the next little bit as well. You guys have a good week.